No, thank you. Now on Bounce, it is National Osteoporosis Awareness Month, and tonight we need to talk to you about your bone health. I want to welcome Dr. Andrew Laster from Arthritis and Osteoporosis Consultants of the Carolinas. Thank you for being here.
Great, thank you.
So there is a common misconception that only the elderly need to worry about osteoporosis, but that's not true.
Right, correct. So it really affects both men and women. Adults clearly can be affected, so women can be affected. People don't think that men can be involved as well. 1 out of every 2 women over the age of 50 will have a fragility or osteoporotic fracture in their lifetime, and 1 out of every 5 men will.
Okay. Osteoporosis, also known as perhaps a silent killer because it goes often unnoticed until a broken bone happens. Is it preventable and detectable?
Yeah. So you're right, it's a silent disease until you break a bone, but there are steps that people can take before they have a broken bone, and that's where a DEXA study comes in, which is a way of measuring your bone density, and it's helpful in terms of predicting the likelihood of fracture before you've had an event. So this is a great way that people can identify if they have a problem and do they need to be treated. We typically recommend that everybody be screened with a DEXA study, women over the age of 65, men over the age of 70.
So you already touched on this, but it's not just women that need to be concerned. I believe you said 1 out of every 5 men?
1 out of every 5 men, correct.
Will be dealing with osteoporosis.
Right.
That might be eye-opening to some of our male viewers tonight.
Definitely. Yeah.
What is the response that you see from men who come to see you who may have been thinking that, this wasn't something they had to worry about?
Right. Well, it's actually, that the denial is definitely there for men, but for women as well. We find that many women even know that they have low bone density, know that they've had a fragility fracture, but they still don't connect the dots and feel that they need to be treated. So it really is under-recognized and under-treated. And even in people who know that they have low bone density, we really want to try to get them on treatment. There's a lot of fear of treatment out there, but there are a number of therapies out there that can be used appropriately, and many people do very well on treatment.
Let's talk about this spine model that you brought here tonight and what we would be seeing, I guess it needs to be.
Yeah, so this is really helpful for defining what osteoporosis is. This is really a disease of bone, and in which the body loses too much bone or doesn't build back enough bone. So here's a normal bone here, and here's an osteoporotic bone. You can see there's not really enough bone there.
It's like a lot more holes, if you will.
And that leads to the fragility, and then what happens is that's prone to break. So a fall can lead to a broken bone. If this is really severe, sneezing or coughing or in a car, even driving over a pothole can lead to a broken bone.
Really? That simple? So you talked about these therapies that are available. Can you talk about, I guess the ones that are most readily available so folks, don't need to be concerned or afraid?
Sure. Well, the very basic thing, and this begins really in childhood, is the importance of calcium and regular exercise. And in teens and adulthood, obviously, avoiding cigarettes and not excessive alcohol. For the elderly, it's really important in terms of balance training because we're more prone to fall and have problems with balance. So those are kind of the basics. And then above that, we layer on the treatments that are available. Bisphosphonates like Fosamax, Actonil are pills that people can take weekly or monthly. Generally, they're well tolerated, but now there are other drugs available that can be given IV. There's an IV treatment called Zolendronate that can be given once a year. There's a drug called Prolia that's an injectable that can be given 2 times a year. So rather than having to take a pill and wait 30 minutes, do that once a week, there are now other therapies that are available, and there are bone-building drugs that are available and other ones that are coming out.
But your main thing that you really want to impress upon people is to be aware and get tested if you meet those guidelines.
Right, definitely. So testing is really important. So we talked about screening for everybody, but younger individuals ought to be tested. So a woman at the time of menopause, if they have risk factors. So risk factors include a family history, if they're thin, small frame, if they've had a broken bone before, if they're on steroids, if they have rheumatoid arthritis, and the same for men. Men 50 and older with risk factors ought to be have a DEXA study as well.
Okay. Anything else you want to add, Dr. Laster?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay. You can learn much more about bone health and osteoporosis at boneawareness.com. You see that there on your screen. You can also take a quick bone health quiz to test your knowledge. And for more information and to see those websites again, go to WBTV.com. Be sure to look in the Web Extras section. It's right there on the homepage. Dr. Andrew Laster from Arthritis and Osteoporosis Consultants of the Carolinas, we appreciate your time and your knowledge tonight.
Well, thank you.
Delay now.
Time now to get